I was in the villa to discuss the programs of Ministry of Works, but I also joined all of you because I know you're very excited with the exploits that Mr. President has achieved while in India, the investment he has negotiated for this country, and the diplomatic jinx that is now amended by the reason of Mr. President's visit to UAE. And so I had to join you to celebrate such victories of our divine president. And I know you're excited because some of you usually jettison to Dubai on Friday, and by Monday you're back. So that trip is back also. So thank you. I briefed Mr. President for the first time about the Ministry of Works. You are aware that the Ministry of Works in the previous administration, the first tenure started with Ministry of Works, Housing, Transport and Power. And in the second tenure, it was Works and Housing. And under President Tinubu, it is now Ministry of Works. And I want to commend my predecessor, because even Works Ministry alone is enough headache from what I'm seeing. So I think he did very well. Now the ministry inherited a total of 2,604 projects worth 14 trillion naira, and for 18,000 kilometers of road. That's what we inherited. And between when we came on board and now, I think about 4 trillion has been paid. And so there is the balance of 10 trillion. Now this 10 trillion, we have defined sources that could fund up to 4 trillion. So we have a funding gap of about 6 trillion that is there. That is what is there now. Now we have a number of programs for our road development under the previous administration, and of course we inherited all the projects. We've not dropped any of the projects. We're curious to know that some of these projects have lasted for 20 years, some 10 years. In fact, in most cases, they are never appropriated throughout, every tenure. And so I went to seek Mr. President's nod so that I will be able to terminate some of the projects that have stayed up to 10 years without any defined source of funding. I discussed that with Mr. President, and I also noted, and I shared it with Mr. President, the way appropriation is being done is not healthy to develop our road infrastructure. For example, for a road that may cost 10 billion, an appropriation of 150 million is made. It is just for the contractor to take and put his pocket, because where an average cost of project that we inherited is about 700 million per kilometer, and you are giving out 150 million for the whole year, then you are just enhancing the pocket of the contractor. So I discussed with Mr. President that there is a need to engage our National Assembly members so that they will be able to prioritize projects. Look at 2,600 number of projects, 18 kilometers of routes, and 14 trillion. That is huge. And the worrisome part of this is that even the ones that are being funded properly, the roads hardly will last up to 5 years. So I briefed Mr. President on what we are doing by introducing reinforced concrete technology for our road pavements. I know there are a lot of fights from contractors, but I'm David, I'm known for fight, and I will fight this because I have reported myself to Mr. President. But incidentally, Mr. President is also an infrastructure guru, and he's fully in support that we should use reinforced concrete for our road pavement. So there's no any other place you can report me other than to report me to God. So Mr. President is supporting me that we redesign our roads in reinforced concrete pavement. And if you look at what High Tech is doing for Dangote under the tax credit scheme at the Apapa, Oshodi, even up to Ojata, it's fantastic. It's reinforced concrete road. It's fantastic. You look at the deep sea port, the road that is coming from Lekki, it's fantastic. Even the governor of Lagos State, within that corridor of Lekki and the Bay axis, is also doing concrete road. It's fantastic. I just saw the design for east part of East West Road from Eleme Junction down to the port. It's designed with concrete, reinforced concrete pavement. I've just wrote a letter to NNPC to release their money because I know that that's what the Rivers people mentioned when they came to see Mr. President. So that road is going to be on concrete, and I'm going to tour, south. I've completed the tour of southwest, southeast, part of northwest, part of north central, and so I'm going over to southwest tomorrow, and I want to say things for myself. I want to appraise the ongoing projects. I want to see who is doing good jobs, how is doing bad jobs. I want to see areas we can redesign, we can put heads together as engineers. So I briefed Mr. President about that. I also briefed Mr. President about the structural defects in our Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos, in our Kata Bridge, in our Liverpool Bridge, and the ongoing work at the Eko Bridge and the Marine Bridge. Now, there are 5 bridges that take us to and fro, mainland and island in Lagos. Because of the defects that we have noticed, deflection of the slab of the Third Mainland Bridge, we have stopped big trucks from plying there. So it is only the Eko Bridge that the big trucks are plying, and the work is ongoing there. So contractor is being owed. So I had to appeal to Mr. President so that work will not stop. And I used the opportunity to thank the governor of Lagos State for his intervention. That's why work is still going on. Otherwise, work would have stopped, and that is very dangerous. Now, the other 3 bridges, the Kata Bridge, the Third Mainland Bridge, and Liverpool, they need very serious, immediate, and urgent attention. I've briefed Mr. President. I've given memos so that he can give us, seed money, and we deploy experts to start the immediate repairs. Why conclusive design and investigation will be done within the next 1 month. We also found out that we have issues with the piling. In piling work in engineering, you have 2 methods of piling. It's either end bearing or skin friction, piling. End bearing is where you now deposit the pile on top of a rock beneath, or where you cannot easily find the rock. It has to be by skin friction. Like laterite is going to hold the pile or sand. So by excavating the sand in Third Mainland Bridge, it is very dangerous. So we've discussed with the governor of Lagos State, and we are checkmating that while we are bringing back experts to also go into the bed of the sea to look at what is going on there, and then we commence immediate reconstruction. But the good news is that Mr. President has approved that there should be what is called a coastal road. This coastal road is going to run all the way from Port Harcourt, crossing many cities, north, south, west, central, and then end in Lagos. It's called coastal roads, coastal superhighway, and it's going to be built under PPP. The private sector is already engaged. We are discussing with him, but today we got very cheering news. Is the initiation of Mr. President, and so we are going to carry it, to its conclusion. I'll be briefing him every month. We have another cheering news of a superhighway that is being constructed under, PPP from Abuja to Lagos, 460 kilometers. So you can do Abuja Lagos when completed under 4.5 hours. Government is not putting money. It's going to be also under PPP. That is ongoing. We have also sought for the approval of Mr. President so that we can engage stakeholders for the reason of how we can start tolling our roads under concessioning. We've concluded 9 routes for concessioning. We have selected about 17 for Mr. President to approve for us to start the due process on concessioning. The only way to go in this country is to build our roads on concrete pavement, and then to get private sector to engage on green belt. Green belt is where you take a fresh road and you build it and you toll it, or brown belt way that you take a brownfield or belt, whatever you call it. You take a road that is ongoing or is completed, you complete it and you toll it. This is the way to go. And we plan under this HDMI, which is Highway Development and Management Initiative. We plan to ensure that whoever is taking up, as an investor in any of the roads, we have to ensure that the verges of the roads are clear about 50 meters to increase visibility, and they do away with kidnapping, along our highways. Number two, we plan that there should be solar light. Interestingly, the Lagos-Ibadan, which is about 99% done, the three governors came together and are going to put solar light throughout the length, of the entire road. So this is part of our programs in Ministry of Works. So we are doing that. And for everywhere you are going to have a toll point, we are going to also have our concrete road technology we have designed. We take any load. That if you are able to put tires and then carry load, the concrete technology is going to take it. I'm aware that the contractors have been quarreling and arguing, and so I want to declare that I'm open for any kind of blackmail, but my eyes are on the ball, and my eyes are, how do we get Nigerians to have value for their money? And that is the assignment President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave to me, and I'm going to do that with the fear of God. So these were the things that I came to brief Mr. President. I want to thank him very highly for his statesmanship, and a man with a very good heart. Any other president possibly will come and abandon the ongoing projects and will start his projects, but we have not initiated one single project. And apart from these two very important projects, which is under PPP, which any other project can come under PPP, he has not stopped funding the ongoing projects. And that is the legacy we are looking. That's the kind of leadership we want in the country. Because what matters is the benefit to the people of Nigeria. We jump the bridge, before we get there. This issue of, I call it subtle blackmail, to say that the roads will cost more. It depends on the kind of road. And it depends on when you say you compare something with something. There are some of the roads that are ongoing that are costing 1.2 billion per kilometer. I cannot build even 30 centimeter thick reinforced concrete road with 1.2 billion. So it depends on what the contractors have loaded on the ongoing project. But I'm going to redesign it. The most important thing is that Nigerians will have value for their money, and I can assure you that concrete road is going to be cheaper than asphalt. Another thing you should know is that we never had any contraction. Today we have augmentations. We have augmentations. I've seen where projects that started with 34 billion is ending with 134 billion. I'm looking at such things. I see where project that started with 44 billion is ending with 140 billion. I'm looking at such things. I came with the fear of God and under the mandate of renewed hope of Mr. President. So my eyes are on the ball. The important thing is to give Nigerians durable roads, value for their money with the fear of God. So this is it. Of course, under our concessioning HDMI program, we are going to toll the roads. And I think Nigerians should support tolling of the road, because if they can, use the roads to enhance their economic activities, there's no pothole. You can even travel at night as it was in the early 70s. Then it means you have value for your money. Where Nigerians are angry is where a road is fixed today. Within 2 years, the road is gone. I'm sure they are not in support of that. And I want Nigerians to support President Tinubu for this concrete technology. Good news again is that President had a meeting with Bua Cement, and he has promised to reduce the cost of cement. And other cement manufacturers have also said, look, we will reduce cement, cost of cement. And that is cheering news which President has brought for some of you that are going to build houses it is cheering news for you. And many of the cement manufacturers are also saying, because of the capacity we are going to be engaging, there are going to be a lot of cement factories that will spring up, and the existing ones are going to be expanded. And another good news is that the pressure on the naira in terms of importation of some of this adulterated bitumen to make our failed roads, will be less, because everything is local content. We have the chippings, we have the cement, we have the sand, we produce the iron, and even if we are importing, it's going to be small. But Mr. President is attacking the Ajokuta steel. And so when that is done, it is 100% local content. So we are also going to create jobs. We create jobs, we bring our engineer that have studied, into this. And then of course the medium scale contractors can also leverage on this. A lot of people that are fighting us don't want our people to engage, so that everything is left for them, and you now import adulterated bitumen and build a road. And when we complain, say, unusual loading, are coming on the road. So we've asked whoever is building with asphalt, you must give us performance bond. Your road must last within the design shelf life of that road, whether it's concrete or it's asphalt. And it is a fight I want Nigerians to join, to demand that when people build road, the road should not be failing while they're still on site. That is what is happening. And when they fail, they give all kinds of excuses, and they collude with some unpatriotic people, and they come and jack up the prices. It will not happen under my watch. Yes, it is of our time. There is no way to allow a project to be going on for 20 years and it's not been appropriated. The state governor is there, House of Assembly, House of Rep, the senators, and if they are there and the road have been there for 20 years and you said I should inherit it and they call it, it's not possible. And the Article 2 of our contract allows us to tamper with the size, the quality, the scope of any project. And clause 51 of our general conditions of contract also encourages that. So we come under these two clauses to see how so it's better to terminate it and then now review it. Then there will be political pressure. The people can go to Mr. President, the people can talk to the National Assembly member. It's better because you can't even use the prices of 20 years ago or 10 years ago and then bring it up. And it's also very unhealthy, to be doing augmentation every time, And the bitumen, asphalt, is the father of augmentation. Today he said the price of $1 is this, and because of that the cost of bitumen is moving from this to this. So we can't deal with that, and that's why concrete pavement is a predictable contract sum for our nation. You can predict the contract. Nobody will come and tell you the dollar has gone up. The two things are influencing asphalt cost, the dollar, the FX, and then the petroleum, the dynamic petroleum pricing at the international market. But here we are just at the mercy of the cement manufacturers, and the more people come in, then the price will crash, and then it's win-win for all of us. It is a very big war. But I give you one thing that my friend pastor told me, and he said that when God has called you to liberate your people, I know you go and they put it upside down, but I will not stop by saying that the tendency is for you to fight the people, and they fight those who are oppressing the people. Don't forget this. That's the reality of life. Because people don't like change. So you have to fight them to ensure that the change comes. And then there are people who are benefiting from that system. You have to also fight those people to ensure that you change the system. And so I agree with you that there are people, I've heard a number of big quarters where they are reporting me, and they say that I'm not even carrying my engineers, along. Why should I not? They are the people that are in charge. But if you bring something for me to sign, and you're an engineer, I'm an engineer, 2 + 4, it must give us 4. If it doesn't give us 4, you have to tell me why I didn't produce 4, because we all went to school. So if that is the way of not carrying them along, I will not carry such anybody along. But if it for us to agree that 2 plus 2 is 4, then I can assure you that everybody is carried along. I'm not producing anything myself. I'm just asking them. This job you say that is reviewed from 10 naira to 100 naira, I want to see how it happened. It is by your writing that you are going to produce it and bring to me. And that's where we deploy the system of 2 plus 2. If it will give us 4, then we will all go home and be happy. But if it doesn't give 4, then let's reverse it to 4. So that is it. So there are going to be blackmails and all kind of stuff, you know. When I went through the sites, I saw that we don't have what is called resident engineers in 97% of the sites. So the contractors are just doing whatever thing they like. I've directed in my training, in my studies, there are what is called the engineer's representative, and it's called resident engineer. The person, you know, wakes up and sleeps with the contractors. He gives approval for every stage of the work. We don't yet have it. We are going to have it. I've directed that every contract should have at least 6 engineers. We will pay them from B1. We need to also develop our people. We need our people to also be engaged so that they will learn. We need those who are doing industrial training to also come to site and learn. Those things are gone, but we need to bring them back. So it's no more one person bringing, you know, a certificate. No, I have deployed that before a certificate of payment is to be done, the engineer is there, the controller of works is there, the director of that region is there, the contractor is there. They will all go to site. They will measure the work done, the quality and the quantity. They will all sign. From there, they generate the certificate. When the certificate comes and these people have signed, I will look at it. I will also be checking whether 2 plus 2 will give 4. If it doesn't give 4, then that wahala don't come.